welcome to the 8BitKatz Show, a place where friends geek out over the nerdy things we love, sometimes with cats. With us today is Peaches, and Duke, and Mr. Kitty. And as always, I'm your host, Stephanie Katz, and with us tonight is Zach.
Hello, how are you?
And Peter's in the corner.
Yep,
Are you gonna put him?
usual.
You're gonna put him down there?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh man, you're so mean.
I think I usually go like in the middle on top or whatever.
Is that where you prefer to go?
No one puts
Real
Peter in the
time,
corner.
everyone, moving him up there. There he is.
Nobody puts Petey in the corner. Come on.
All right.
What you got on the docket for us tonight, Miss Stephanie?
I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll be a little late, but that's okay.
Hooray!
I wanted to do it last time, but I was ill and Peter was working. So, in honor of the month of love, I thought we could rank 20 iconic fictional couples.
Okay, we're gonna rank them.
Yeah.
You're gonna give them all to us, and then we're gonna put them in order.
No, I'm gonna give them you to one at a time, and we'll just kind of.
All right. So you've got. Are you prepared to write this list down?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I've got the pre-list.
Okay, I'm just saying because you're gonna need to be able to move some stuff around. I'm certain at some points.
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Cool.
You ready, Peter? Are you excited for this game?
Not really, but let's do it anyway.
Okay. And then once we get through, if there's any couples that you can think of that would be better, and you want to kick somebody off the island, we can do that. But you only get one kick off.
Well, yeah, you found 20. I think that's gonna be plenty for us to go through here.
Okay. So first up, I mean, and it's just gonna auto go in the first spot here because it's the first couple, but Han and Leia.
While I love it, honestly, a toxic relationship.
Fucking relationship, yeah.
You both spoke at the same time. Peter,
sorry.
you may go first.
We agreed.
Oh.
I think we said the exact same thing almost, is the funny part.
Well, you guys said it together, and I couldn't actually understand either of you.
So I guess
I said it wasn't the healthiest relationship. Zach said it was pretty toxic, to be honest.
honestly, love the relationship. Like that they got together. It's fun, but especially the way that they did them dirty in the Abrams sequel.
Yeah, significantly healthier in Legends.
Yes, significantly. They
I
actually
agree.
care about and respect their relationship and their children in the Legends canon.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, next up, and basically the way we're gonna go, since this is the second one, is you're just gonna tell me if it's gonna go above or below.
We'll get you. We
Okay.
got you.
Jack and Rose from Titanic.
Jack and Rose from Titanic. It's at the bottom of my
Low
list.
in romance, yeah. That's it. We know nothing of how they would actually function as a couple outside of the first meeting.
And then she didn't really ever care about him. Did she? She literally never talked about him again until she was almost dead.
It's been 84 years.
Yeah, exactly. And she never mentioned him to anyone else at all. So what I'm saying is that Model A must have not been as steamy as they made it in the movie. I'm just saying. She never talked about it again.
So definitely below Han and Leia.
Oh,
Okay.
100%. I think that's going to be the lowest on this list. She's going to have to be hard-pressed finding a shittier couple, I think, or at least as a relationship. Though the smile on her face worries me a little bit on that one.
I thought about this, and I put something on here specifically to irritate Peter, but we're not there yet.
Damn.
Oh, cool.
That feels cruel that she specifically did it just to irritate
Because
you.
I knew it would
That's
get
not a couple.
I knew it would get a reaction, and it would be fun.
All right. What do you got?
And
What's our
now
next
I'm
one?
actually excited to see where they're going to end up on the list. So next up, we have Jim and Pam from The Office.
If the writers had had their way, would have been the worst relationship in TV history. Thank goodness John Krasinski and Jenna Fisher were producers by the time they were really trying to fuck with that relationship. So they're like, we don't want to do that. So honestly, probably one of the most wholesome and well represented overall relationships in TV, except for the fact that the times that you can tell when the writers were literally they wanted to break them up so they could keep doing the will they, won't they thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So right now, I would agree, top of the list for now.
For now, at least, yes. From everybody we've had so far, they're definitely the top of the list.
Okay, give me
Jim buying a house without talking about her is really fucked up, though.
Yeah, so was the whole job offer thing and not discussing it. He had a tendency to make some choices for the both of them without discussing it.
But honestly, I actually read an article on this today. It's weird. They when they were doing that, like the writers just did a better job of hiding the stuff where Pam was going to be a shithead when they decided not to go that direction than hiding the stuff that Jim did, because she was supposed to
I think
be
that was referenced in the final episode, right? The one that was supposed to be the epilogue or whatever for the Blu-ray.
a little bit, yeah. But no, yeah. So one of the things was like she was supposed to like one of the guys in the guy in New York that tells her you need to pursue your art. He's stifling your creativity. That guy was supposed to like basically try and get her to stay in New York for him because he's into her, kind of thing like that. And they're like, no, that'll be bad. We'll rewrite that out. They just couldn't hide most of Jim's mistakes because they made him make really big ones.
Right.
Next up, we have Gomez and Morticia.
Number one.
Adams.
That's number one.
List. Oh yeah.
We don't have to go through the list. We honestly, I don't have to hear another word on this list. I guarantee you, they're the best couple on this list. They support each other.
Like, you'd have to pull out something kind of amazing for them to not be.
I don't know. Again, they support each other. They support their children. They love each other's interests, even though they don't necessarily align with all of them. They support their hobbies and do stuff like that. Honestly, the Addams family, besides being a bunch of fucking weirdos, is one of the most healthy family relationships ever portrayed in media.
Exactly.
What's your favorite Gomez and Morticia portrayal?
Oh, Raul Julia. He is Gomez. I don't know. Though actually with Wednesday, they guess they got closer to the comic book portrayals of them with Luis Guzman, and I do love me some Luis Guzman. But it's still the original Addams Family, and even Addams Family Values wasn't terrible.
Right.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
But it wasn't terrible. Buffy and Angel.
Oh, I always forget they're actually a
I don't
couple.
really watch Buffy.
You didn't really want.
I feel like she should have ended up with Spike. I would have liked that better. I always like Spike better.
She kind of does.
I know, but I always like Spike better. Angel's kind of a dour douchebag.
Well, that's because of the curse that was put on him.
Yeah, I never really paid attention to any of those shows. Those were not my shows. Buffy, Angel, no. I've seen the original Buffy movie and the Hellmouth episode with with Nathan Fillion in it, and I think that's it.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll give you a basic overview here of their relationship then. So obviously he's a vampire. And
Angel is
cursed.
a vampire?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was cursed by gypsies because he killed one of the gypsies, and so they cursed him to have a soul, so he would still be vampire, but he would feel bad about all the things that he'd ever did. So then he ends up in Sunnydale, and him and Buffy end up falling in love. But the caveat to the curse is, if he ever experiences a moment of true happiness, he loses his soul. So then, towards the middle-ish of season 2, they get stuck together in, like, his house or whatever, and, like, it's like a horrible storm or something, so they can't leave.
Ooh, nice fishbowl
So they
episode.
end up macking it, and that's his one true moment of happiness, so he loses his soul. And when he loses his soul, he becomes super evil because Angelus, who, like, was his evil vampire, like, super evil. So then he just, like, torments the shit out of her and is, like, starts killing a bunch of people and, like, people she loves and cares about. And then he's going to open the Hellmouth, and the only way to stop that from happening is Buffy has to kill him. Meanwhile, like, her friends were trying to figure out how to reproduce the spell. So right at the end, the Hellmouth is literally opening. They're engaged in an epic duel, and Willow is able to cast the spell to give him his soul back. But now the only way to save Sunnydale is to
still kill him.
So she skewers him.
But he goes to heaven because he had a soul.
No, he goes to hell.
Yeah, because he had a soul.
And then he ends up coming back through some witchcraftery and it's like a whole them trying to like have a relationship but not be able to have a relationship, and then that's when he decides he has to leave Sunnydale, and then that's when he got his own spin-off show. That way she could thrive and live, and he could not be tempted to lose his soul again.
A second from the bottom.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, again, that feels very Joss Whedon to me. All right, I probably could have guessed that.
I'm just shocked that Peter's never watched Buffy.
I'm not that shocked.
It's never really
Patrick,
caught my attention.
Patrick and David from Schitt's Creek.
You haven't
I've
even
never
seen,
seen Schitt's Creek.
and you haven't even seen all of that.
So?
But they're number 2 from the top.
All right, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll just trust that.
Hello.
Oh no, that's a very well written show, and I would say I think it's actually probably right up your alley, Peter. But I know you have lots of things you have to get through. But Schitt's Creek should at least be on the list for you, I would say.
Fair enough.
So why second from the top?
Well, mostly I don't really care about spoilers on this. I care about spoilers for you. We haven't gotten to the most wonderful part of their relationship where it really comes in, but they are they actually communication is always good. They work on that throughout, but it's also why it's a nice portrayal of a real relationship because they actually grow throughout the show instead of just they're now in a relationship. Oh, well, now we need to come up with a way to make them hate each other so that we can get them back together again. No, they actually go through real problems and work through them in real ways that actually would make sense and how real human beings would actually probably do them. And that's why that show is actually pretty good. Ding, 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 ding.
He has an opinion too. Jesus, Patches.
His opinion is I'm going to slam my butt on things, apparently. All right, what you got next? Ow.
Ron and Hermione.
Near the bottom.
Above Buffy and Angel or above Han and Leia?
Above Han and Leia, I would say. No, they're probably
below
tied.
Han and
They're
Leia.
probably tied with Han and Leia, honestly.
So under Han and Leia, but above Buffy and Angel.
Oh, for sure. I will say on that one, they never really made sense because they were never originally supposed to go together. But people were like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait till Harry and Hermione get together." And being a bit of a contrarian, J.K. Rowling said, "All right, they won't then. Fine." Basically, that's how that happened. It was just to piss people off, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's why it doesn't really work." She sort of made it work, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I think it works better in the movies actually than it does in the books. Is the weird part.
Okay.
Because they leave out a lot of really dumb stuff in the books too, or that does happen in the books between the two of them that would really make no sense why they would ever have a romantic relationship.
All right. Aragorn and Arwen.
It's hard to say because we don't really see enough of them together.
Yeah, we don't really ever get a lot of their relationship. Mostly, she's just kind of a toxic fangirl. It feels like she's obsessed with him and gives up her immortality just to hang out with this dude. How good is his bone? I don't know. What is this?
Oh, on a random aside, I read somewhere today that apparently she was actually supposed to be at Helm's Deep, but then they decided to cut her out, and that's why there's a bunch of random elves at Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's in the books, right? She leads them down there.
No, she's barely in the books.
No, yeah, But
Most
no,
of
there
her
are
scenes
elves
in
at
the
Helm's
movie are
Deep.
not in- There are elves at Helm's Deep. Most of her scenes in the movies were not present in the books.
Oh yeah, but I was saying in the books there were elves at Helm's Deep, right? They came and helped, didn't
Yeah, there were elves at Helm's Deep in the book, I believe.
Okay. I'm making sure I'm not going crazy. They were there.
It's just she wasn't real. Like, she didn't even say Frodo at the beginning. She's barely present in the books.
Yeah, she. I don't think she has any lines, but she is the one. She is the one that comes out to ride out to save them, and then that's it, pretty much.
This one, because all we really know is that, like,
Yeah.
hey, this is technically... They stay married until at least he dies. Like, it's, I think, the exact middle.
I think this is your
So
that would be your this is your control relationship.
uh I mean, that'll make them end up being 10, but we're not there yet. So for right now, do they go?
They go in the exact middle.
But there is no exact middle because this is 8.
Below Jim and Pam, above Han and Leia.
Thank you.
I can't see your list. Are you writing this down too, Peter?
I might be.
Good, then we can compare how fucked up it got. We can label it either way, but Batman and Catwoman, or you do Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle, however you're feeling.
What continuity?
Batman and Catwoman have a wonderful relationship. Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle don't really get along, I don't feel like.
That's why I was asking the continuity specifically, because there are versions that are extremely healthy, but there's also versions that are not.
Weirdly enough, the one in the Harley Quinn show is relatively healthy compared to some of the other ones.
It would be if Bruce was in like a good place.
Bruce is just not in a good place. No. Like right before he had all of his entire life come crashing down, they were in a pretty good spot. It was nice. It was good to see. That's why they were able to hang out at Selena's apartment all the time, because she was always over at Wayne Manor.
Yeah. With them, I would almost want to put them like exactly on par with Han and Leia, because there's versions that are very good, but there's also versions that are very, very bad.
So do you want to put them above or below Han and Leia?
Below, since of how many different continuities there are, I would say.
I want to put them exactly to the side. I'm with Peter. That was a well-reasoned argument.
Only goes to 19 now.
You can have ties. Ties are allowed.
Oh my god, I can't. There we go. That's close enough.
Hey, what are you doing, Fart Nugget?
Being a nugget of farts. 10 and Rose.
Terrible relationship. Ten's clone that can die. Great relationship.
Yeah. But 10 in Rose? That was, no.
Dude burned out 2 different sons just to talk to her. That's the definition of toxic. Like, oh, give me a second. I have to destroy some more civilizations real quick. These ecosystems on these planets around these suns, yeah, those are done. Sorry about that.
Yeah. It's also another case of like 10 is just not really in a good headspace for shit like that.
Oh no, not at all.
One of the more, yeah.
One
of the more traumatized iterations, I guess.
It was honestly only after that where he got even more trauma. I think he reset back to 0 and was able to start becoming okay again after that.
All right.
I didn't really like what's her name? The other doctor, Dr. Jones. There we go. Dr. Martha Jones. I didn't really like her as a companion, but she was great for number 10.
Yes.
Because you could just have a peer, a little bit at least.
Yeah.
So if it is actual, like, 10 and not the 10 clone, next to last.
So below Buffy and Angel, but above Jack and Rose?
Yes.
Sure.
Because it's just that, one, they're not even in actually a relationship. The 10th Doctor and Rose never actually enter a relationship.
Well, yeah, because he refuses to.
Yeah.
Because he's broken.
He's broken.
Exactly.
Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner.
Didn't she cheat on him?
No.
Oh, wait, no, that was just a trick, Jack. That's right. Yeah,
She did kiss Jack Sparrow, but that was just to trick him into getting eaten by a kraken. So I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, it's not like it's terrible, and you know she's able to deal with the Dutchman shit.
And yeah, she put up with him for at least 10 years. She met him at least one more time after that. Maybe that was the time she's going, so this is your kid now. He's keeping on the boat. I'm going to go live my life. Bye. But we didn't see that.
Right.
I haven't seen past the third Pirates of the Caribbean, and I kind of refuse to.
I don't think they come back in the 4th.
They do.
Oh.
They come back in like the 5th one.
Yeah, they come back in like the most recent one.
Oh, well, I haven't seen that one, but that's fine.
Will's curse gets broken. He gets to live with his family by the end of it.
See? Will's curse gets broken. He gets to live with his family.
Happily ever after, then. Yay! Number 4. I think where we're at right now. That should put
exactly where I was going to put him, right below Jim and Pam.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's probably about where they're at right now.
Okay. Mickey and Minnie.
Are they in a relationship?
They're married, according to actually Disney, and they're just any of the TV, any of the cartoons and movies that they are in. They are actually actors, and they're playing roles in those movies and shows, and that's why they can be with other people in those movies and shows.
So what I'm hearing is that we don't actually ever see them like as a functioning relationship.
At Disney World, when they're in the costumes, that is canonically when that's Mickey and Minnie being Mickey and Minnie and hanging out with each other. That's why you see them most of the time holding hands and doing stuff like that, and going places together.
Well,
I don't like that I know this. What is wrong with my brain?
Love you.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing as Aragorn and Arwen. It's just
It feels like a corporate mandated relationship with no real love behind it. But I can't speak for them. They're mice. Mice have weird things.
canonically they've been together all this time, but
They seem happy. I'm gonna say. You don't ever hear anything in the tabloids about Minnie walking out on Mickey or Mickey walking out on Minnie. I'm just saying. They keep it clean at least. They're quiet and reserved about it.
maybe just above Aragorn. Yeah, you know what? Mickey at least gets his wife's roles and shit.
Hey, you know what? Nepotism at its finest, baby. It's like, my wife is perfect for this role. She's playing your wife. Perfect. It's like some Kirk Cameron shit there. I'm only gonna do kissing scenes with my wife, so you better hire her as the actress to this.
Oh wait, hold
Actually,
on.
Chris Hemsworth did that too. Actually, I think.
How does that work with Kingdom Hearts? Is the implication that they're actors in that too?
I believe so. Yes. Or maybe it's an alternate universe. Couldn't tell you.
God damn, I do not like this.
That you were actually thinking about this now and want to know. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, isn't it?
I mean, she's the queen and he's the king, so I would imagine. Regardless.
So they're royalty and actors. Is that what we're going with?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
I don't know too much about
But
Kingdom
doesn't that
Hearts.
imply that Earth exists in the Kingdom Hearts universe?
Again, like I said, maybe it's alternate universe, so same rules don't apply.
Let's go to the next one. I don't want to think about this anymore.
You don't want to think about Mickey and Minnie? At
Yeah.
least they've never tried to give them kids.
Loki and Sylvie.
Bottom of the list. It's the same person. It's a disgusting relationship.
That's just masturbation with extra steps.
Yeah, frankly, I don't even think it should be on the list, but whatever.
Oh, though honestly, it's beautiful because Loki's always hated himself. It was really nice to get to see him watch him learn to love himself finally.
See, I knew there would be one that could top Jack and Rose.
That's the one you put on there specifically to piss off Peter? Yeah, I figured. Okay.
Just because I love you, Peter. Well, you can always have them removed if you choose at the end.
Yeah,
Next,
that's. I'm not gonna pick anything else.
Tony Stark and Pepper.
Are we doing comic books or are we doing the MCU? I think you're doing MCU here. You're doing Tony and Pepper in the MCU.
Got to be MCU because they're not really even a thing in the comics. I think they hook up like one time.
I'm like,
Yeah,
the
'cause he's a
MCU is
huge
what I'm
shithead.
familiar with.
Because Tony's an alcoholic, abusive asshole in the comics.
I mean, in the MCU, they get to a pretty healthy place.
Honestly, they do. I think that's mostly just due to Gwyneth Paltrow not really wanting to be in those movies anymore. But I think actually in his arc, in his relationship throughout the MCU, that was one of the best character arcs. Was that Tony learned to not be at least complete shitbag when it came to women.
Yeah.
They seemed to raise their daughter pretty well.
Yeah.
He refused to save the universe because he didn't want to lose her. So.
So I guess towards the top, but where do you want to?
It would have to be in the top half. What's our
I'm
1, 2, and 3 right now?
Gomez
Right
and
around
Morticia.
Jim and Pam.
Yeah, Gomez and Morticia, Patrick and David, Jim and Pam, Elizabeth and Will.
I'd say right between Elizabeth and Will and Jim and Pam. I think they do make some wonderful strides and growth there.
But they do start in a pretty not great place.
Oh, not great. Yeah, she's literally his employee,
Yeah.
directly under him, and then he gets her directly under him.
Yeah, but if you're talking about growth overall, I mean.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Huge, wonderful arc in a relationship. But Peter's right. Started in a bad place.
Obi-Wan and Satine.
They're not in a relationship.
Never were in a relationship. Could never have been in a relationship. It would never have worked. It's not a thing, technically.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad because Obi-Wan should have just given up and gone for the poontang. Though maybe he did. I still think Corky's is that's not Satine's nephew because Bo-Katan doesn't have a kid, and I ain't seen any other sisters. I'm just saying.
How many of these are just not actually relationships? Because that's one. They aren't actually in a relationship.
Well, they're sort of, but
Jack and Rose aren't actually in a relationship. Jack and Rose meet and know each other for a few days. I wouldn't count that as a relationship. And Loki and Sylvie also, even in the canon of the story, never enter into a relationship.
I think she's more talking about on-screen ships, things that people like here.
That's kind of what I was getting.
Which is fine. Which is fine. I think we're okay with that. But you have to think of it in that way. She just wanted to ship them, not relationship them.
I mean, we don't actually know what happened between Obi-Wan and Satine, but he definitely loved her, like, a lot.
Oh, yeah, he almost left the order for her.
Which, I mean, at least puts them above Jack and Rose.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I agree. At least above that. He thought about it.
Yeah.
But he's also was one of the only good Jedi left. So he said no, because that's not what you're supposed to do.
All right.
Bastard.
So, just above Jack and Rose, below 10 and Rose?
God, there's a lot of roses.
There is. That's kind of why I want to hear. Break that shit up.
The sad part is I would say just above 10 in Rose, actually.
Above 10 in Rose,
I
but
think
below Buffy and Angel.
Yeah. They're less toxic because they didn't actually get into anything.
Peter,
yeah, no, I actually kind of agree.
Yes, got him.
Okay.
And I do love watching all of these character interactions on screen, or at least the ones I know. But are they good relationships?
No.
No.
Loki, they can just die. But
you didn't like that one? I liked them. They're
Sylvie and Loki? I hated them.
Oh no, their chemistry on screen was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that part.
Fair enough.
Putting them together was a bad plan.
Clark Kent and Lois.
Ooh, right below Morticia and Gomez.
Yeah, they're actually solid. And pretty much
they're one of the healthiest comic relationships.
In pretty much every iteration. I really like the one with the My Adventures with Superman. I really like that show.
Did y'all see the new announcements? They're doing a few more shows. My Adventures with Green Lantern, Starfire, and some superhero school one.
Is this going to be like the same people doing this? Because the My Adventures with Superman is done very well. And I really I'm kind of digging that style of animation too. It's really interesting. It's almost old school. It feels hand-drawn, but I know it's not.
I don't know very much about the superhero school one. I know obviously Starfire is going to be led with Starfire, and Green Lantern they're doing Jessica Cruz.
I don't know much about her as the Green Lantern.
I'm kind of here for that one, considering she's not agoraphobic or anything, but she is constantly terrified when she's first introduced.
How does she? I thought you had to know no fear when you're a Green Lantern.
Well, she got there. Initially, she had Power Ring, the alternate universe one with with Ultraman and shit like that.
Like I said, I guess I didn't know much about her. I've never read much of her comic or anything.
And she trains with one of the other lanterns for a while. No, with Flash for a little while. And ends up earning a Green Lantern ring.
Oh, that's fun. Well, that'll be interesting then, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Again, if they've got the same kind of writers and doing stuff like that, I think they're going to be well served with it.
Absolutely.
John and Holly McClane.
Well, that's a bad relationship. They end up divorced and hate each other.
Yeah, that's not.
I think that's again mostly the writers and also the fact that they couldn't get the actress back after a while there. Actually, they couldn't even get her back in the third one. That's why they got divorced again.
Oh,
That's why he moved back to New York.
There was actual love there at one point, so.
There was. I will give that. But yeah, no, John's awful and a workaholic and a terrible person. He has no good relationship with his family in any way. His wife hated him and left him twice. His kids don't want to talk to him. His kid joined a paramilitary organization across on the other side of the planet to get away from his father.
So
And his daughter only talked to him again because she got kidnapped by an evil villain, and then never talked to him again after he shot himself to save her.
So where do you want to put him?
Not high.
I would still put it above Jack and Rose. But
Yeah, me too.
That's as far as I'm going.
So above Jack and below 10, or above 10 and below Obi-Wan?
Oh, below 10.
Below 10, yeah. At least there's some semblance of happiness that comes from 10 and Rose.
He
And yeah,
burned
they get
two
back together in the
sons.
first one, but then they're already having issues again by the second one. And that's why he has to try so hard to make sure her plane can land so that he can say he's sorry to her because he hadn't talked to her and needs to say he's sorry to her. John McClane's a bad man. Love those movies.
But he's a bad guy.
Peter Venkman and Dana.
They suffer from that movie shit where they have to break up the main couple every fucking movie. But
They do end up back together. It is canonical.
yeah, and memory
After
serves, the
Ghostbusters 2?
comics also has them in a pretty good
Well,
place.
yeah, and after the last movie, they're still together.
Oh, are they? I didn't
Yeah,
remember that line.
There's a after credit scene with them.
I don't remember that part. That's cute though. I like it.
He raised someone else's baby.
Go Bill. That is surprising by Peter Venkman. That honestly, you know what? That's actually that gives me more props in that relationship. He stuck around and raised that baby. Even though he was not the daddy. He was definitely just trying to start with some fun at the beginning there. He was trying to scramble her eggs, but the fridge did that for her.
So, I don't know, but like right below Will and Elizabeth?
I don't know. They had a long relationship at least. They seemed to they were together for like what? I guess because.
Well, they break up between 1 and 2.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do get back together by the end of 2, and then
They appear to be together in the comics.
and at the end of the last movie, like I said, there was that after credit scene where they're still together.
Which took place in what, 2021, I think technically was when that was supposed to take place. Something like that. So yeah, that means they've been together for like
30-something years?
40. Ghostbusters 2 was in the 80s.
Yeah. The late 80s.
Was it late
88 or
80s?
89.
Was it? Okay,
Pretty,
yeah, like 30
pretty
years.
sure. Okay. Harry and Ginny.
Oh, I hate that relationship.
Yeah, it's the relationships in that series in general are not great.
Again, because she was just trying to piss off the fans at that point because they called all the relationships she was originally going to do, and so she's like, well then fine, I'll screw around with them now. I'm not that predictable as an author. Dumbledore's gay, I swear, even though I didn't write anything in the books that say that or give any allusion to that whatsoever.
There's also the weirdness of Jenny being constantly described to look exactly like Harry's mother.
Yeah, similar. Yeah, she has like a striking resemblance without the eyes.
Weird.
And also, she was like, especially in the books, just obsessed with him from a very young age. So did Harry groom her? I think Harry groomed her, even accidentally. It still happened. His reputation really ruined all of that. Oh, it's got to be on the bottom half of the list, I'd say, at least for sure. Where's Harry? Where's Ron and Hermione?
Buffy and Angel at least a vaguely like healthy relationship.
So below Buffy but above Obi-Wan?
Yeah, the only reason I would put it above Obi-Wan and Satine is because it is an actual relationship.
Yeah, and where's Ron and Hermione?
Above Buffy and Angel.
Yeah, put them below Buffy and Angel. Put them right next to Harry and
Buffy
Ginny.
and Angel go up above Ron and Hermione as
I
well.
think so, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Their relationship at least sort of makes sense. The contrivedness of why they can't be together makes sense. The contrivedness of why those other two relationships are together is what doesn't make sense to me.
All right.
Okay. And then last one, Harley and Ivy.
Oh, most versions of that relationship they're bad people, but they are in an extremely healthy relationship.
Yeah, they're awful individuals and are bad.
We're not judging their individuality.
And them being in a relationship together is arguably bad for the planet. But they're great
but
for
they're
each
very good
other.
for each other,
They're
yeah.
great for each other.
So
It's kind of the same thing with like Clark and Lois and Morticia and Gomez, where it's like they're all kind of on that same level.
They're supposed to be, they're like they complement each other well. Now, I will say, when they do like the Gotham City Sirens thing, and like in the actual comics for that, not in the awkward side quest they had in the animated show there for a little bit there.
So above Clark and Lois or below Clark and
Below
Lois?
and Clark Lois.
Below Clark and Lois, because there are at least still versions of them that hate each other. But with Clark and Lois, that's pretty universal.
Okay. So, right now we've got Gomez and Morticia, Clark and Lois, Harley and Ivy, Patrick and David, Jim and Pam, Tony and Pepper, Elizabeth and Will, Venkman and Dana, Mickey and Minnie, Aragorn and Arwen, Han and Leia, Batwoman and Catwoman,
Batwoman and Catwoman.
Batman and Catwoman.
I'd rather watch that one.
That is a ship that exists in the world.
Definitely, for sure. That's happened somewhere.
Buffy and Angel, Ron and Hermione, Harry and Ginny, Obi-Wan and Satine, Ten and Rose, John and Holly, Jack and Rose, Loki and Sylvie.
That's what I've got.
You let Harry put, or you let Peter put that all the way at the bottom of the list there.
All right, Peter, you have one couple that you can take off, and we can add another couple, and we can decide where.
Like, do you have one on standby, or are we just adding one into the list?
Do you have a couple that you have on stand that you have?
No, I don't have.
No, I was
any
talking to Peter.
On standby.
I don't.
I didn't know if any had popped into your head. I mean, I could get you some.
You like comic books? Y'all know about Nico and Carolina? Yeah, the Runaways.
Nope.
I don't know them. No.
Nah. Fair.
Sorry.
I can't think of anything as deeply unhealthy as Loki and Sylvie, but I do want that off of the list.
No. I think she's saying you can come in with one that's much more healthy than that one if you wanted to, and knock that one off the list.
Right. So we can take Loki and Sylvie off, and then we just have, but you have to find a couple to replace, and then we can put them couple in a different slot.
We'd re-rank them. Okay.
Right.
You just have to come up with a replacement couple besides Loki and Sylvie.
Oh. Marion and Indiana.
Oh, and where did they go on the magic list?
Okay, so let's see. He definitely statutory raped her, and
not
then statutory.
I said not great.
Yeah, no, sorry, not great. I thought you said not rape. I'm like, yeah, no, that's like legally, it's statutory rape.
Not great. Sorry, shouldn't have used that exact phrase.
Yeah, so statutory, a little statutory in there, a little bit of grooming in there. Left her alone, abandoned her for a little there. Let Nazis kidnap her for a little bit there.
Yep.
I don't know if he let them kidnap her.
Kinda.
I didn't say they started in a good place.
Yeah. Had to endure the wrath of God with her. Got a little closer after that from what's the syndrome where you bond together? Trauma bond. They trauma bonded a little bit back together there. They were together for a while there. He ignored her for his job and left her and his son on their own.
Didn't know about the son, to be fair.
He didn't know about the son. No. But if he had been more involved, he would have known about the son.
And from what I understand, he is negligent, but she is the one who leaves. He doesn't leave her.
Well, yeah, because he was off fighting communists and ignoring her.
At that point, it would still be Nazis.
No, I think it was. I think he had moved on to the communists at that point too.
By the time they separate, it's not very quickly, or like it.
Oh no, it wasn't very long afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's still doing Nazis then.
Yeah, 42. Yeah, because that takes place in 36 originally, doesn't it?
I believe so.
Something like that. Anyway, but they do end up back together in Dial of Destiny, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I only saw that movie once.
Dial of Destiny, they do end up back together.
Tried to purge it from my head.
And that one, the separation before that suffers a little bit, not from their like relationship dynamic, but from their son dying in Vietnam.
Yeah, that was rough on them. That wasn't. Well, honestly, they basically used the same line in the Star Wars movie too.
Yeah. So in that way, almost exactly on par with Han and Leia.
So above Han and Leia and under Aragorn and Arwen, or under Han and Leia but above Batman and Catwoman?
Han and Leia is where it's at because the two versions of them, one is an incredibly healthy relationship, and one is just the worst.
I'd say put them just above Han and Leia.
Right.
Yeah, I think just above. And then take Loki and Sylvie off.
Yep.
Jackery.
Oh, do I have a couple I want to put on there?
You would have to take someone off, though. Think.
I was trying to think if there was any like other couples that I could really gave a shit about in media.
I tried to hit all the big ones.
I thought you ran a pretty good gambit on this one. You got a little bit of you reached a little bit of everywhere.
I don't know. I didn't touch Star Trek. Is there a Star Trek relationship that?
The Uhura and Spock one and the fucking new ones is so weird. It messes me up every time. Like what? Okay, no. Kirk and every random alien lady ever. Ooh, who's his weird ex that has the kid in Wrath of Khan? He pulls an Indiana Jones with the secret kid in Wrath of Khan too. No, I don't care about that one. Honestly, I think I'm good with the list where it is. I can't think of anybody else. Oh, no, I got one. Here, you know, one thing you did in your area there? You didn't get any animes on there.
Yeah, because there was only one anime that I could think of, so.
What, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask?
Yeah.
I was gonna go Goku and Chi-Chi and then put them at the bottom of the list.
Well, that's not entirely fair.
No, he loves his wife and would do anything for him, and he loves his kids. He just spends an inordinate amount of time dead.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, who would you take off then?
I don't remember who's on the list. Who's on the
Gomez
list?
and Morticia, Clark and Lois, Harley and Ivy, Patrick and David, Jim and Pam, Tony and Pepper, Elizabeth and Will, Venkman and Dana, Mickey and Minnie, Aragorn and Arwen, Indy and Marion, Han and Leia, Batman and Catwoman, Buffy and Angel, Ron and Hermione, Harry and Ginny, Obi-Wan and Satine, Ten and Rose, John and Holly, Jack and Rose.
I'm going to do this for Peter. I say we put Goku and Chi-Chi on there, and we take off Obi-Wan and Satine because they were never technically actually in a relationship.
Okay, and then where are you going to put Goku and...
Just for Peter's semantics to help him feel better about that, too. Okay, so where are we putting Goku and Chi-Chi? Again, technically they got betrothed at like 8.
Yeah, on accident.
Yeah, Goku thought he was getting a good meal.
And they both do clearly like love each other. It's just the absence of Goku most of the time.
It's mostly the problem is that Goku, I will say it's more Chi-Chi's fault. In most of the relationships on here, the man is the toxic one and is ruining things.
Yes.
This one Goku is no saint. Don't get me wrong here. But Chi-Chi did a bit of a 180 after they got married and had a kid. Because he married her because she liked to fight and eat and she was strong and crazy. And then she's like, no one fights ever again now. My kid only goes to school. You need to get a job, Goku. Mostly because, also because her dad lost his kingdom after Master Roshi blew it up with a Kamehameha wave because it was on fire for 1,000 years.
It still has not answered my question.
Honestly, they're a pretty good relationship. He listens to her. They do clearly love each other, even though they are annoyed. It's a pretty accurate relationship. They do clearly love each other, even though they're definitely annoyed by each other most of the time. So we took off this Obi-Wan.
I would put them at actually just below Indy and Marion.
Yeah.
Considering the absence of Indy and Marion's life is about the same as the absence of Goku's.
He's off archaeology. And Goku's off training. Gotta go train.
At the very least, while Mutt did die, Indy never directly put him in harm.
Yeah, Goku does put his kids like, nah, you got this. You can kill the giant grasshopper monster that wants to destroy the planet. Yeah, you got this, buddy.
All right, so our final tally is Gomez and Morticia, Clark and Lewis, Harley and Ivy, Patrick and David, Jim and Pam, Tony and Pepper, Elizabeth and Will, Venkman and Dana, Mickey and Minnie, Aragorn and Arwen, Indy and Marion, Goku and Chi-Chi, Han and Leia, Batman and Catwoman, Buffy and Angel, Ron and Hermione, Harry and Ginny, Ten and Rose, John and Holly, Jack and Rose.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I had too.
Final answer locked in for all eternity.
That can change. Subject to change.
Subject to change. I thought that was just a fun little thing to do, and then
It was more fun than I expected.
And then next episode we begin our annual March Madness.
Oh God, that is next episode, isn't it? Yeah. Shoot, it's almost March, isn't it? Shit.
We just take the couples and
Pair them against each other. Yeah, March Madness couples division.
Clark and Lois would win, considering Lois currently has all the Kryptonian superpowers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that in the comic book run, doesn't she?
oh dang.
Yeah. So it's just two fully powered Kryptonians versus mostly a bunch of normal people.
And if it's their whole family, I don't care if it's the whole Bat family playing against them. The Connor's there, and what's their actual biological kid? Because Connor's
John.
just John, yeah. Because Connor's just a clone of Superman, technically, right?
And Lex.
And
Superman
Lex. Yeah. Well, then you get a couple Superboys in there. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing the full thing, you've also got Kara and Linda.
Oh yeah, you're real fucked.
This is the end.
The Viltrumites might be able to get there, but it's gonna be tight.
It would take all of the Viltrumites too.
Yeah, but there's only like 37 of them technically in the galaxy currently.
Yeah, but it's just my mind's like take the 37 Viltrumites, throw them at 6 Kryptonians. I think the Kryptonians have it.
I think it's a tight fight.
Oh, absolutely. But Kryptonians are very easily capable of producing the 2 Viltrumite weaknesses. But Viltrumites don't have heat and sound.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. But Viltrumites have no way to easily produce Kryptonian weaknesses.
Yeah, I don't know if they can synthesize kryptonite, and they're not magic. Yeah, so I don't know they could probably figure out a way to make some sort of kryptonite beam. It would not surprise me. The Viltrumites are pretty smart.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, you're not wrong that it would be a close fight. It's not like Viltrumites are weak.
But they're not invulnerable either.
Yeah.
They will bleed.
Yes.
Though I guess apparently Superman bleeds too if you punch him hard enough, but I never understood what invulnerable meant by that. Then I'm like, I thought he was completely invulnerable. How was he bleeding?
He made himself bleed just so the other guy wouldn't feel bad.
Basically.
Clark is a nice guy. He's real sweet.
He would.
He's a Kansas farm boy.
There is that one bit in Death in the Family where Bruce goes to punch Clark, and Clark turns with it so he doesn't completely shatter every bone in Bruce's arm, and just does the forearm instead.
Yeah, he just breaks most of his fingers in his forearm.
Alrighty. Well.
Bruce can punch really hard.
It's gonna bring us to Extra Bits.
Extra Bits.
Sick.
Was it my turn?
Yeah.
Well, there was a recent announcement. I don't know if you've seen this, Peter, but I figured it made you happy. Kathleen Kennedy is going to retire and step down from leading Lucasfilm by the end of the year. So now the real question is, who's going to be in charge next? And the prevailing opinion in Hollywood right now is that the most likely guy for it is going to end up being Dave Filoni. But the smart money is on them doing a James Gunn thing and hiring a longtime serious studio exec who's good on the business side of things to co-run the studio with Dave Filoni, so Dave can focus on the creative aspect while they focus on the money aspect, which has seemed to be, at least with the animated stuff and they've been putting out so far from Warner Brothers and the DC studio, It seems to be working out well for them. So I would be, I think I'd be okay with that. Dave at least still seems to understand Star Wars. I mean, I know he keeps trying to put too much of his own stuff in there. He likes his own guys the most, but he does at least still mostly get Star Wars. And Jon Favreau would be the only other person that I think could do it, and I know he doesn't want to do it.
Fair. Peter?
They're doing reshowings of Revenge of the Sith for the 20th anniversary.
Oh, shit, are they?
Yeah.
Okay, Alamo Draft House. Look up tickets.
Right after we get off the phone.
Perfect.
Right after we get off the phone. Right
Right after we got off the phone. Okay.
after
Close
we get
enough.
off the podcast.
Close enough.
Words are hard. Wow, guys, we kind of just all aligned. Because mine is, in case you've been living under a rock, the season 2 trailer dropped for Andor.
Fucking hate it, dude.
I'm excited!
You
Sorry.
hate the season 2 trailer?
No, I said.
So I said I'm excited.
Oh.
And I said, "Fucking a, it did." I'm excited for Andor season 2.
Same.
I'm guessing you've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
More than
I will say, yeah, the first season of Andor is the best bit of Star Wars that's come out in a long goddamn time.
Alright, so I cannot wait for more of that.
I'm glad that they got what's his name back as Krennic too.
Alright.
That they actually had because Krennic being in the show makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they were able to get the actor from Rogue One
Oh my
back
God,
to do it.
April's gonna be so busy. Andor season 2 drops. Last of Us Part 2 drops. There's something else that drops in April that I'm forgetting.
New Doctor Who.
New Doctor Who drops in April.
April 12th.
And I think Moana also drops in April. Moana 2?
Didn't that already come out?
It drops on streaming.
Oh, I'm like, didn't that already come
Oh,
out?
so y'all don't have to waste money to go to the theaters to see it?
Exactly.
We're busy people.
I heard it's real bad.
I mean, the first one was fine. I don't think the second one can be much better.
Well, it's from what I've heard, they did the same thing that the Atlantis sequel was, where they were trying to do a show,
Oh,
but
yeah.
instead they just squished some episodes together to try to make a movie.
Ah, damn.
Lame.
Because that first Atlantis movie was so damn good.
But those first three
Second one
things.
is the worst thing we never talked about again.
I didn't even know they made it.
It's bad.
But
Oh,
Andor
Milo's good.
season
Don't
2.
watch it.
And The Last of Us Part 2. Oh, Peter, that randomly reminds me. Have you seen any chatter on The Last of Us 3?
Like the game?
Not really. I think Naughty Dog is mostly focused on their other IP, Intergalactic, right now.
Okay, I'd seen a couple things and I couldn't get any verifiable source, and I knew that you would know better.
Well, so people love to speculate about Naughty Dog sequels all the frickin' time. They were talking about Last of Us 2 like the day after the first game came out, and that took a long time for them to actually announce that game. People are still talking about a supposed Uncharted sequel, but that series is over.
Yeah, I thought they wrapped that up with a little bow.
They finished it. They finished Nate's story with Uncharted 4, and then they finished off side character stories with Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought they wrapped that all up with a neat little bow. There's
Yeah.
there's no loose ends. You're fine. Just play
They
the
had
fucking
very
games we gave you.
satisfying conclusions for all the characters. All I would ever want if they wanted to touch Uncharted again is for them to remake the first one, because that game is painful.
To look at now, yeah.
Yeah, well, not
Well,
just
even
that, but
play,
the controls are a
honestly.
million times worse. Yeah, it's just, ugh.
That one did evolve well throughout its iterations,
Yes.
at least gameplay wise too.
Yeah. All right. Well, 8BitKatz Show comes out every other Wednesday. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There are things in places.
Are they around? Or is that
You can find us here.
here?
Here.
I don't know what we're doing
And
here.
it's where the scroll happens.
It looked like you
Until
were praying to me because of where I am on the screen.
Peter.
we are not worthy.
We are worms.
Until next time, my friends, geek out, be fabulous, and have fun.